So first, let's go through how we do some bite rims in Blue Sky Plan if you want to do them. I'm going to take a case that I've already articulated and kind of show you how, if we do bite rims through Blue Sky Plan, we'll probably get pretty darn close to what we want to be at. So, a case I've been showing beforehand has been this person right here. Took away her name, but, this is how the models are actually articulated after bite rim solder. We're going to click on the maxilla here, click edentulous module, hit continue to alignment. Follow the prompts by Blue Sky Plan, hit continue, finish. And so this is how the models are actually articulated after I do them clinically. But let's just throw the mandibular model on here, if I were just to try to see how Blue Sky Plan would want to articulate it. So let's just import that by itself. And click on mandible, click on edentulous, click on continue to alignment. Follow the prompts again, like the photos up here on the upper right, and hit continue, finish. And man, that's not too far away from what the actual articulated model is. That means that, if you were to, set the maxilla like we did, and then set the mandibular, independently of the maxilla, the mandible will probably be pretty darn close to where the final should be. It won't be exact. It'll be a little off in every single case. But this is pretty darn close here. And so if you want to do bite rim digitally, this is how I'd first start setting the teeth, because it'd be so much quicker. So let's actually, for making the bite rims, let's delete the actual articulated mandibular model. Let's go to the unarticulated models here. Continue digital design. I'll use the caps with roots just because I think those are pretty darn close to what the anatomic teeth actually should look like, as far as like just, apex to incisal edge dimensions. I'll get rid of the first, second molars because they just will kind of add a hassle to everything, and hit OK. Now let's set this is tooth number 8 to kind of where we think it should be at. So hold down Shift, click on the maxillary model, edentulous model, and we get teeth kind of set there. Now let's first align the maxillary teeth so they're kind of following along the arch here. We're going to right click on the mandibular model and toggle visibility to hide it. And now let's just kind of move things around like we should. Let's move it around here a little bit. Let's go like this right here. Perfect. Let's take a look at it. It looks like from, that side right there. Let's pull it back a little bit right there. Let's pull it back just slightly here. I kind of want to almost envision like the teeth kind of just coming out of the gums like that naturally. That's how I like to think of bite rims. And let's just kind of rotate it slightly more here. And I like that overall. That looks pretty darn close to me. Now let's take a look at what the mandibular model looks like here. So what we're going to do is we'll hide the maxillary model, and we'll hide the maxillary teeth as well by not showing the mandibular teeth, and then just click on visible and click on visible again, and then we'll make the mandibular model visible. So we see how the mandibular teeth lined up there. Okay, they lined up somewhat how I want them to. But let's kind of line things up. So I want them to go along the ridge here. They're a little bit, especially that left side here, is just outside the ridge. So let's go to show hide tooth chain, and we can kind of move things around here. Now I kind of actually like where the canine is, number 27 is the best. So just because it's kind of along the ridge right there, and I will move everything around that. So I'm going to lock the number 27 in place, and then move number, 26 all around. Let's see here. This is, you kind of move it almost like in buccal lingually or facial lingually, I guess, depending on how you think of things. Let's see here. I'm going to move it just a little bit more. The problem is this gets a little bit tricky. But I did too much. If you had a better mouse than I have right now, I'm just cheap and I need to buy a better mouse. Perfect. And let's see here. I kind of think that's going through the 2/3 retromolar pad right there. Perfect. And let's keep that one where it should be at. And maybe a little bit farther out than it would be. Let's go back to everything again one more time. Move entire teeth chain. Let's move everything back just a hair bit here. That looks better. Close enough. You know, she's got so much bone here. I don't do a lot of avioplasty as rule of thumb here. Let's hide all of those teeth again for us. But that's close enough to where I want to be at. These are wax rims. They don't need to be perfect. If you try to focus on perfection right here, you'll kind of drive yourself crazy, I think. So let's just do the maxillary teeth alone. Let's hide everything mandibular. And I kind of like where those teeth are, but if you want to change things up just by itself, show hide teeth chain. Let's lock this one right here. Let's pull number 9 right here. It's a little more facially. Perfect. There we go. Now we have some teeth. Now let's make some bite rims. So let's go maxilla first. Click on maxillary model, create denture. Perfect. We want to minimize the amount of undercut we have because these are wax rims. We want them to do it easily, passively almost. And let's get rid of all the undercut. Minimize the amount of brown spots, which shows where the undercuts will be at. And hit set from direction. Do not do posterior palatal seal because we're not making dentures right now. Now let's bump the offset up to a couple times. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make it so that there's enough space here for us to take a second model here. If you want to do it all digitally here, there's no really easy way, in my opinion, to get a good model and then take a bite digitally without like having another model there. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to create wax rims where we're going to do a reline of a light body PVS and then use that to create our whole model. Kind of like how I showed from, if you want to combine step 1 and step 2, we're pretty much just creating 2 dentures here with the hopes of that we can get everything to articulate again. So you want a little bit of offset so that you've got room to put light body PVS in there. And we're going to bump down the thickness a little bit here because I don't need a lot of thickness here. Ideally, let's go 1.5 so we're not using so much material. Let's bump everything down to as much as possible. And now let's create some dentures here. So just kind of go along the vestibule, follow it along there. I'm just holding down Shift, and click on the left mouse button here. And then last one, you kind of want to just connect the last 2. You can hold down Shift and click on the balls themselves, and that can let you move them. If you want to add another point, hold down Shift, click on the line, and another point there. Perfect. So now we got some a denture. Let's see what we'll create here. Okay, so we got our whole denture here. Let's smooth it out because that makes everything easier for us. Make the tool size as big as possible. That way, hold down Shift, it kind of goes to the whole denture. Hold on Shift, click left mouse button. And now we got everything nice and smooth for us. Perfect. Now let's make the denture itself. Click Next. Leave everything as it is and hit the right button here. This part takes a little bit, so I'll be editing this out. All right, now let's do the mandible here. So same thing, mandible, create denture, plan new denture here. Let's right click, hide the base, right click, hide the model here, and same thing again. Perfect. Set direction from interview. Let's make sure we get like a minimal amount of brown undercut. That doesn't look too bad. Next. Let's make the thickness a little bit less just because why make it thicker? There's no reason for it here. Perfect. Same thing as holding down Shift and just kind of clicking the outline of the denture that I want to grab onto. Beautiful. And let's create the contour here. Let's see what we get. Good. So now we got some teeth there. Let's smooth things out just a little bit. Holding down shift, I'm just going to click going back and forth here. And let's make things a little bit smaller here. So let's add remove. We'll bring down tool size just a little bit here. I was going to hold down, good. Holding down control removes base material. We can see where we have two, like a little right there, that little red spot will be an issue later on. Same right here. I can see the yellows showing through. If I were to hide that one little tooth right there, let's see if I'm going to hide the tooth. I can see right here that this area just would not like turn out like I wanted it to be. So hold down shift, add right there. Check around, make sure there's no red spots. Red spots will mean that the software won't process it. Let's go next. And then let's, the teeth are on there. Let's go again next. Let's see what we get. All right, so we got a denture right here. You can see there's a little bit of, area where it didn't quite want to take right there, but I'm not worried about that, and I'll show you why. So what we want to export really is just the bases of the teeth, which is the base is just the denture base itself without anything cut out on it. We want to hide the model. What I recommend for everybody is just, you want to see what you're going to export. So hide everything that won't be exported here. In this case right here, I want to export the incisors and canines and just the first molars. I don't want to export the premolars here, so I'm going to actually hide those. So I'm going to right click, toggle visibility. And now I have got a base plate and a bite rim. In this case right here, is it really a bite rim? I think it is, even though like you can see right here, some areas are just a little bit off. This is just kind of a weirder case for how much bone the wolfbat has, but it is what it is. So I would export this. So I'd go File, Export. Blue Sky Apply would charge me half an export fee if I did this, but I'm going to export the base plate. And then I'll export the 8 teeth on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then if I want to do the maxilla, kind of the same sort of thing. Let's hide everything. But let's find the 6 teeth, the 8 teeth we want to export. So that'd be the right. Let's see, where's it at here? Oh, we need to just click on everything. So make sure we see everything here. We'll hide everything but the maxillary teeth. They're reduced. Perfect. And now let's show the denture as well. So the denture base. And I would export this as well right here. And I would have 2 denture bases to, to print out. I'd print it out on a low-cost resin. Probably in my office, it'd be printed out in a denture base material. And then from there, you kind of just adjust them as needed, and you put some wax between the teeth, and you take a bite on them. And that would give me a bite rim on the patient. So for the next part, we're going to go through how we would make a denture for this patient, for this patient with the articulated models.